Hi everyone, in this video I, Apurva, along with Anantjit and Ayush will be explaining microfiltration, which is an important membrane separation process in mass transfer. First, we will see what is microfiltration. Microfiltration is a pressure driven separation process which is widely used in concentrating, purifying, or separating macromolecules, colloids, and suspended particles from a solution. It is also a type of filtration physical process where a contaminated fluid is passed through a special pore-sized membrane to separate microorganisms and suspended particles from the processed liquid. Next, we will see some characteristics of microfiltration. The typical particle size used for microfiltration ranges from about 0.1 to 10 micrometers. These membranes can also separate macromolecules of molecular weights generally less than 100,000 grams per mole. The filters used in microfiltration process are specially designed to prevent particles such as sediment, algae, protozoa or large bacteria from passing through the filter. The given diagram shows a general setup of the microfiltration process in which the suspended liquid is passed through at a velocity of around 1 to 3 meters per second and at moderate pressures around 100 to 400 kilopascals parallel or tangential to the semi-permeable membrane in a sheet or a tubular form. A pump is commonly fitted onto the processing equipment to allow the liquid to pass through the membrane filter, and a differential or a regular pressure gauge is also attached to measure the pressure drop between the outlet and the inlet streams. The process of microfiltration has many uses and applications in various industries, which includes its use in food industry such as wine, juice and beer clarification, for wastewater treatment, and plasma separation from blood for therapeutic and commercial uses. It is also commonly used in conjunction with various other separation processes such as ultrafiltration and reverse osmosis to provide a product stream which is free of contaminants. It has a wide use in the biotechnological industries, which concerns the applications such as cell recycle and harvesting, separation of recombinant proteins from cell debris, and the purification of process streams.
Hello everyone, I am Anantajit. In this section, I would be discussing about application of microfiltration for water treatment. Microfiltration is used to clean potable water and it is also used in some industries where very clean water is required, like the electronics industry. It is mainly used to sterilize the water from microorganisms like viruses and bacteria. Some of these microorganisms are harmful to human health and also immune to conventional disinfectants like chlorine. Microfiltration helps to get rid of such organisms. It is also useful for eliminating very fine impurity particles which will be useful to remove turbidity from wastewater. Hence, disinfection and filtration takes place in a single step while using microfiltration. Otherwise, if filtration was done using some other type of physical barrier, chemical methods would have been required for disinfection, which would add additional costs for handling and storage of chemical substances. The membrane used here can be used in a dead end or a cross flow mode. In dead end mode, the water is made to flow normal to the membrane. The retained particles in this case will remain on the membrane, which would be required to be washed away, since the accumulation of these particles will increase the filtration resistance. In cross flow mode, the flow is parallel to the membrane, while a pressure is applied across it. The pressure causes the filtered permeate to pass through the membrane. The retained particles in this case is washed away by the flowing feed. Coagulants may also be used with microfiltration to precipitate species which are soluble in water. These soluble materials could pass through the pores of the membrane and won't be separated out. So, these substances, when reacted with the coagulant, will cause precipitation and then they can be separated from the water before passing through these membrane. Most commonly used membranes have a pore size in the range of 0.1 to 1 micron with an average pore size of 0.2 micron. A pressure difference of around 500 kilopascal is required for the operation of a membrane used in microfiltration in this case.
Hello everyone, I am Aish Shresthav, and in this segment we will be looking at the second example of microfiltration. Okay, so the example is the clarification of wine. Naturally, or better to say, after some processing, wine is now ready to be consumed. It still contains some visual impurities in the form of turbidity, which does not impart a good effect on the consumer, and also some invisible ones, like the presence of microorganisms using which it is produced at the very fundamental level. So particles or organisms like this need to be removed from it in order to make it consumable and user friendly. This can be achieved via microfiltration. Okay, in order to filter the wine, it is first filled in the feed tanks and then deployed from there using valves, and as a result it bears some velocity and also has some impurities in it. On a very higher level, these impurities and salts which are present in the form of colloidal particles escape via membrane, thereby leaving the feed filtered. And since this feed fluid bears velocity, so it does not let those colloidal impurities accumulate over the membrane and thereby render it useless by creating layers over it. And finally, after this filtration step, the wine gets collected in the end. So now let's take a closer look at the process, for instance how it works, the underlying principles, etc. As depicted in the picture, the wine to be filtered, shown as feed in the picture, enters the system shown with some velocity and has some colloidal particles in the form of impurities in it. So the sheet-like object in the picture with bears scales is the membrane, which kind of governs the entire process with pressure, temperature and other factors mentioned in the upcoming slide within certain upper limits. So wine flows from left to right, and due to its momentum and pressure drop between either sides of the membrane, the colloidal particles pass through it, thereby leaving the wine filtered and is collected from the right hand side as shown. So till now it was all about the process, like how it works and how microfiltration works at a very lower level. And like all the processes or methods in the industry also do not work at each and every condition. So let's take a look at what specific condition and physical requirements this process or model can work. And also let's take a look at some of the information about the membrane used. Okay, so since we deploy the feed with some velocity over the membrane, this velocity should be lesser than such that the colloidal particles or impurities get ample amount of time in contact with the membrane and get separated out eventually. So if the feed velocity is quite high, then it will swiftly flow through the membrane without any significant filtration taking place and thereby rendering the model useless. The next one we have is the pressure difference, which is maintained on either sides of the membrane. It should be lesser than a specific critical value. If it is higher than that, then the particles which passed through the membrane will come back to the newer segment of the fluid as time proceeds due to the higher pressure difference which is present now. And similarly, the temperature should not be too high. It should ideally be less than 25 degrees Celsius, as increased temperature will dissolve the particles present as impurities and also change the properties and texture of wine and hence render it useless. The membrane which is used in this process has an average pore diameter of 0.2 micrometers in case of red wine and 0.22 for the white one. Okay, now let's see why microfiltration is a better choice or alternative to achieve the objective. So the first reason being that some of the traditional methods involve the use of diatomaceous earth, which is hazardous, and some of those exogenous additives in the process, thereby kind of risking the process in case if any mishappening takes place the entire course of it. Okay, and also the process is quite cost friendly and it is very easy to operate or carried out, and it does not involve any critical mechanics or science. Okay, thanks.